One, there. One. Yes.
Whoa!
Hello.
Welcome to Riff and Ravel.
Welcome to 2019.
And New Year! Oh, 2019. I forgot. I'm still writing 2018 on everything, and it's not real yet. I don't know. Anyways, I am very excited to be here because it's been almost a month since I've played, and that's too long. Too long.
Yeah.
So we're here. We're here. We're here for Storm King's Thunder. We welcome you back. I hope you had a great holiday season.
I didn't. I was sick.
No? Oh, yes, that's
I missed Christmas.
You did.
Yeah,
you
did not
missed
sound good.
He is healthy again.
Sort of.
I worked
physically
for Christmas.
anyway.
Yeah. You know, the holidays are just
Yeah, it was it wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was just kind of
You got some time off, so that's worth it. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, I'm Callie. I'm DMing this craziness. This is my first campaign DMing ever. We are officially past the 1-year mark, which is pretty cool as well. So that's pretty neat. And let's do roll call. Joe.
Hello, I'm Joe. I play everybody's favorite little dwarf fighter, Braddock. He's a protection fighter. He's got a big old shield, and he likes to beat things with other things, like people. Like he likes to beat people with other people.
Okay.
Is it too early to be inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's keep this mostly on track.
My name is Dave. I play an elf wizard called Bravo Court.
And Travis?
Oh, I thought Dave was going to say other things. Hello. My name is Travis. I play the party's... what do I play? I play a druid. His name is Carrion. And he's part of the Emerald Enclave. And he turns into a giant moose, which is totally badass. And you can find out more coming soon.
At your local library.
No, probably not.
Hi guys, I'm Lauren. I play the party's cleric North. She is a half-elf and is learning how to be an adult. It's kind of hard. There's many things she doesn't know about the world.
Adulting is hard.
Darn it, it was one aspect of we couldn't get rid of in rope. Adulting's still hard.
All right. Well, let's just jump right in. So last time, as it was quite some time ago, our party, consisting of these four, but also currently Serac from Bryn Shander, made their way down around the spine of the world to the city of Luskin. So not really through, but around the mountain range, down to the port city, where they were initially held up at the gates. The guards there not turning them away, but telling them that they had to wait until something got handled. They seemed distressed slightly, but there was smoke rising above the walls surrounding the city that all of you were able to see. Grillian and some crows, befriended by Carrion, went to investigate and discovered that something in the northern side of the harbor was on fire. They couldn't tell what. There was a lot of fire, but there was something big, lots of smoke, lots of flame. And eventually they were allowed entrance into the city to discover the North's dirty scoundrel city of Luskin. It's less than reputable. A lot of decay, a lot of empty buildings, a lot of shady characters, but still a lot of, typical city things, a lot of trade going on, fairly healthy market. but definitely somewhere where you keep a hand on your coins and another hand on your weapon. But you had a mission. You made your way directly to the southern harbor to try and find the ship, the Dancing Wave, which is captained by the Aunt of Duvessa, the Speaker of Bryn Shander. Unfortunately, it was not in port. You discovered that it had been there a couple months earlier, but had not returned. So you found an alternative ship to get yourselves to Waterdeep, a ship by the name of the Foam Splitter. You tracked down its captain, Zhao Han, in an equally seedy bar called One-Eyed Jack's, where she seemed to have bewitched your dwarven fighter. You negotiated a price for passage to...
No. Braddock just agreed to whatever she said. He's like,
Well, the rest of you negotiated. And you were given access to the ship to spend the night, as it wasn't going to leave port until the following day. So that is where you find yourselves now, is being led back to the ship by Noga, who seems to be part of the crew. There wasn't much of an introduction, but she led you from the bar back to the ship, the Foam Splitter. And so Noga isn't much of a talker. She's a big, hulking dragonborn. She just sort of started walking out, and if you followed her, you followed her. If you didn't, you didn't. So is there anything that you guys want to get done before the night is out, or before you make it back to the ship, or anything that you want to...
I'd like to see if I have all of my baggage with me, especially my Bravo corks. Did he get left in the tavern?
Well, Bravo Corks is currently inebriated, as he had a mug of whiskey.
Yeah.
But he is with you. He's following. Serac was keeping an eye on him so that he didn't drift any further than normal. But you are making your way back through the city, across that bridge, past what was once the host tower, past the island known as Ship Kurth, through the market.
So on the way back, Karen wants to ask Nogal. So
Noga.
Noga, we saw the smoke from over the walls when we entered the city. What was set aflame? Some kind of enemy, we were told?
Their ship. The mages and magic slingers, they came out to protect the city and set it on fire.
Oh. That seems like that would do it. Whose ship was it?
The giants that tried to attack the city.
Oh. He's just he's bad at conversation. She's not helping.
Not helping. No, she's not even looking at you. She's still just walking.
North's gonna have kind of a disgusted look on her face, as she was kind of wondering the same thing, and with it being giants, it kind of flaring things up. She's gonna ask, what kind of giants were they?
They were big, blue-skinned, lots of fur. I don't really know giants. I try to avoid them.
Yes, as most would. Do you happen to know Luskin at all? Just the layout of the town.
Well enough.
Do you know if it has a big pillar of stone or some such, like an obelisk?
No. There's a temple, but it's not a pillar of stone. It's more like built columns, like bricks and cut stone. Why?
Lushkin has a temple?
Well, it's not really used much, but Luskin's an old city.
Ah, fair enough.
Wait, what? Braddock kind of like shoves himself in between the two, talking. What's in this temple then?
Nothing.
All right.
It's just sort of an open courtyard with pillars.
But there's a god in residence there, no?
I don't know. I don't pray there.
Right. Well, the religious in the town, when they do pray, what's the god there they pray to?
There's no gods in Luskin.
All right. Well, he takes his backpack and he kind of spins it around so it's still on one shoulder, but he can get access to it. Like he's got it in front of him, and he rummages. Bravo, Bravo. Here, you'll be needing this. And he hands over a scroll to Bravo.
He's looking very drunk. This makes great audio. He's very drunk.
What? What is that?
It's fine. No. Here, I'll take care of it. It's a scroll. It's a spell. I'm putting it in your backpack. Here.
Ooh.
Just leave it be till you're more sober. I forgot he'd had so much whiskey.
So Noga keeps leading you back towards the southern harbor. Pardon me. Anything else? Otherwise, she just leads you straight to the ship.
I can't think of anything I need.
Is there any smoke like rising from the area that the smoke was rising from earlier?
The northern harbor, yes. Less now. Actually, as you're walking on the southern side of the river now, you have a less obscured view of the harbor, and you can see, not perfectly, but you can see a bit of the harbor there, and the smoke seems to be lightening up now. The flames seem to be dying down a bit. You can see a fairly large mast, whatever bit of sail is left on it. The ship is very burned, but you can tell the size of it is giant size.
So it's a giant ship. A giant's ship.
Well, everybody make a perception check
Okay.
as you're walking along.
Oh boy.
Oh, starting well.
24.
I swear, come on, North, you gotta beat a 24. Don't let the drunkest person be the most...
Something's wrong with my character sheet. I literally went through these earlier, and I'm missing a whole page.
You're missing a whole page?
Oh fuck, I'm an idiot. Never mind.
Everything's fine.
I had it set on something else.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons. All right. So, North and Bravo Quarks, you are able to see a little bit more sort of above the mostly burned mast at the very peak of the mast pole. There's a flag, and on it you can see this symbol.
Okay.
And otherwise it is giant sized, and you can actually see like a couple bodies floating in the water next to the ship that are also giant sized. And they appear to have similar armor to the giants that you fought at Bryn Shander. Not the same, but similar style.
Was the ship over there? The one with the wiggly worms on the flag.
Oh dear, this'll be grand.
Bravo, that's the ship that they were talking about that they attacked.
There look to be giants in the water.
Yeah, there is. Doesn't that armor look kind of familiar?
Giants don't like water.
Some giants don't like water, yes.
The only giants that like water are the water giants.
What a wealth of knowledge you have, Bravo. And she's gonna turn to Carrion. Well, first she's actually gonna pull out her journal and she's gonna flip open a page past the gross samples from the worm that she's been preserving. They're almost dried out now between the pages, so she had to like go past a couple pages because it's like wrinkled the pages.
Yep.
And then she's gonna draw as best as she can see that symbol and keep that down. And then she's also gonna write in Luskin found a burning ship at port. And then she's gonna turn to Carrion. Carrion. So the armor that they're wearing.
Somebody should get the giants out of the water.
No, they were attacking us. They can drown. So that armor looks really familiar, Carrion.
Not attacking us anymore.
Do you think that they're related to? I don't know, but blue. Were they blue? Now she's kind of like mumbling to herself.
Unfortunately, our library of knowledge on giants seems to be
drunk at the moment.
Yes. I would imagine that most giants have similar armor. I mean, I don't imagine they have many craftsmen, and they probably cobble together whatever they can. Though, what's this you're drawing here? And he points at the symbol in her book.
Well, you didn't see it, and she's gonna like stop. If someone's behind her, they probably smash into her, and because she just abruptly stopped and kind of pointed back. The flag on the ship, it has this. It's what he said was squiggly things. Yeah, there's a symbol.
The giants are sleeping with the fishes.
That he's an elf, or I'd put him to sleep.
Yes, well, a few more ounces of alcohol will do that in herself. Had Carrion ever seen that symbol before? Now that he looked at it in North's book? From
Make an intelligence check.
Can I?
5!
Hang on.
This is like
Carrion chokes on his own spit.
No, this is like golf. Extra intelligent.
Yes, Bravo Quirks can as well.
It's like a giraffe with a giant nose.
Intelligence?
Holy smokes.
Yes.
I'm good at intelligence. 18.
-9 for being drunk.
So, Carrion, you haven't seen this symbol before, but something about it just it seems familiar. Why does this seem familiar? And then Bravo Cork's that looks like a giant rune.
Giant rune!
Oh, what?
His alcohol content is going to have to be heavily monitored from now on.
Then it is. Oh, I made off alcohol. It's a giant rune.
And then that spurs you to realize, Carrion, that while you don't recognize this symbol, it's like a more of an ancient version of the giant language, the written language. These runes aren't used as much anymore, but you don't know what it means, but it is obviously rooted in giant.
Yes, well, I suppose it's a clue. Some faction related to this rune is looking for... did they say... Do you know why the giants came here? Are there any rumors that you've heard?
He just speaks up to their guide.
They probably came here because they don't like water.
Noga sort of glances at the remains of the ship, like across the river in the harbor, and she's, I don't know. We don't get a whole lot of giants, but it's not totally unheard of. The giants from the north sometimes have raiding parties. It's been a while, but I guess they thought they'd try their luck before winter set in. I don't know.
That's very curious.
So she leads you back to the foam splitter. Oh, pardon me. And you see Wrath again. He's sort of getting everybody organized, getting all the equipment on board that needs to be like restocking and things like that. It's pretty busy, but she walks you up the gangplank and reintroduces you to Wrath and doesn't realize that you guys have met. And Wrath just, oh, good. Well, I guess Noga can show you where you could sleep, I guess. Just stay out of the way for a while until we get the ship loaded, and that'll be fine.
I'm very good at that.
We need to get him to a bed soon.
Yeah, that'll probably be a good idea. All right. There's some spare hammocks. You can show them, Noga. Yeah, all right.
Water dwarves.
No,
So she
no.
leads you across the deck to some stairs that lead down. Takes you down another level, and there's some hammocks in a cramped corner. I mean, the whole ship's kind of cramped, but people are like going up and down the stairs. There's people in the hold that are securing crates and barrels and other cargoes so that they don't shift around, and so you're kind of like scooting past people and getting out of the way of, big barrels being carried around and things like that.
How high above the water is the boat? Just like not the sail. I'm not counting the sails and the mast and everything. Just the decks.
It probably sits. That's a very good question. I'm trying to visualize the size of it. It's got like the part that you've been brought to 2 levels down is probably mostly under the water level, but sort of near water level.
Okay, cool. That helps. That makes sense.
So she shows you where you will be staying. These are your bunks. And they're just hammocks. It's dark and kind of damp, as ships are. It's nothing fancy. She sort of stands there awkwardly, and Captain will be back in the morning. We'll set sail.
It's the morning. What time is that today?
It's probably your bedtime. Drunk one. The rest of
Maybe.
you probably have a few hours. Get what sleep you can.
Did you see the water dwarfs?
Giants,
gonna
bro.
Noga just turns and leaves. So what do
You're
you
the
guys?
best. You know, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, you have your quarters. They're not private by any means. There's other hammocks nearby that other people will be occupying but aren't currently occupying. Like there's little bags of gear and stuff, personal belongings hanging from hooks and things, and it's cramped quarters, but you know, it's a ship.
Is there anyone else in here?
There's people moving about, but there's nobody like just standing around or like lounging. Everybody seems to be working towards getting the ship ready to sail for the next day.
I approach the nearest person.
Oh no.
Okay, there is a half-elf man who seems to be more or less directing where things are going down here. He's checking the words.
Checking
He's
the words.
checking how secure all of the cargo has been tied down, making sure that nothing's going to get loose when the ship starts moving. He seems to be more or less in charge at this level. What do you want?
I can see that you're a very busy man, and I will not bother you because I am good at staying out of the way, and I have been told to stay out of the way.
Well, you've certainly got that down pat.
Yes, I'm very good at listening to people and hello, my name is Bravo Quarks.
Bravo, Quarks. All right. I'm Quarrel.
I'm very good at staying out of the way.
So Carrion just
Yes, where did Bravo get off? How does an elderly drunk elf manage to sneak away?
and he's looking around. And is he like close by? Like, do I see him?
Yeah, he's over like near the stairs. It's not a big space, so it's pretty easy to see him.
Bravo!
Do you like magic?
Bravo! Bravo, I have this book that I'd like to show you.
Talking to my friend here. What is your name again?
Yes, but this book is very interesting.
Worrell?
Beans!
Bravo!
Laughing at my own joke.
So you're with us all the way to Waterdeep?
Yes, hopefully.
Carrion calls over, and then he goes over to collect Bravo.
Yes,
He pats Bravo on the
Great.
shoulder.
yes, Bravo.
I'm drunk.
Yes, you are very, very drunk. And you are going to be excellent at staying out of the way. And you know what
Are we
I've
on-
read in a
are
book?
we on a
There was
ship?
this lovely book that said the best way to stay out of the way is in a hammock. A hammock cannot be in the way. So let's see if they were right.
And he tries to lead him back to the hammock.
Quarrel goes back to his work.
Okay.
All right. Well, there are four hammocks there, sort of 2 and 2 stacked over each other, and then there's one. Well, there's 4 others just on the opposite side of the ship there. So Serac will stay with the other members of the crew on the other side, but you have somewhat of some privacy there.
How do you get into the taller hammocks? Do you just clamber up into them? It's like a little ladder.
So there's like little like shelves or whatever, sort of supported on the hull of the ship, the outer wall there, so you can kind of climb up, sort of a makeshift footstep.
How tall is the tallest hammock?
It's about like you are when you're standing, you're taller than it.
Carrion looks at Bravo. He measures him up, and then he looks at the hammock, and he's just kind of like eyeing to see, like, can we get him up there?
While this is happening, Bravo Quarks lays on the ground underneath the bottom hammock.
It's slightly wet.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
I bet not. I don't imagine he'll wake up with much good coming out of him.
And he, come on, Bravo, come on. And he tries to help him up off the deck into the lowest hammock.
I'm being carried away by a very strong man.
It's easy enough. Bravo Quarks doesn't weigh much. There's not much to him. He's mostly just robes.
Pick him up and lump him into the bottom hammock there.
And Grillian just sort of like curls up on his chest. He is immediately asleep.
Is it warm in the underdeck, or is it kind of cold?
It's kind of chilly. There are some like lanterns burning, but
No, he was never mind. He was in his travel gear anyway, so
yeah. Because it's still like basically the start of winter, so it's pretty chilly. You don't have the wind to deal with, but everything is damp, which keeps the cold, so it's just kind of chilly.
Does Bravo have a travel blanket or anything?
Yeah, he's got like a rucksack.
I think all of you have like a bedroll of some sort.
Yeah, so that's what I meant, bedroll.
Nah, I'll leave it bundled up. Bedrolls aren't really good blankets.
He won't notice either way. So if there's anything else you want to do before night, now's the time.
North has never been on a ship. She's been on the land. That's all she's ever known, except for that being in the air, but that traveled differently than anything they've ever experienced. So she kind of like has stayed kind of quiet, and she wanted to not be in the way, so she's been traveling with the group. But now that they're in their little room, she started to kind of look around, kind of ignoring Carrion and Bravo talking back and forth to each other, all the nonsense. Leaf finally pokes his little head out and is like, where the heck are we? And she doesn't notice the movement at first as she's walking around. But she as she was starting to figure out which bed's gonna be hers, because she realized, okay, so now that the elf's in that one, well, the dwarf's probably gonna be in that one. Her other option is up.
Yep.
So she sees her stuff and doesn't think anything of it, and she climbs up on the post and kind of throws her stuff in because she can kind of curl up with it. And as she's up there, she kind of has a vertigo, and she's gonna kind of slip a little bit, not fall though, and then kind of look around. Did you guys just feel that?
Feel what?
Movement.
The boat is on water.
Right. The boat's on water. Maybe it's just the wine. She's not feeling good.
Is there a bucket or anything nearby?
Not immediately within the vicinity, but one is easy to locate.
Can Carrion hunt down 2 buckets?
Yeah, probably.
Carrion would procure 2 buckets, leaving one by Bravo, and he brings one over to North.
Yes, I don't imagine you've probably been out to sea before. Not that I really have either, I suppose. More than you, but you'll likely be wanting this.
She's gonna look at the bucket. A bucket?
Yes, no one likes to be vomited on in their sleep.
I don't feel. She's just kind of like get off the pole and lean against it with the bucket still.
I foresee nothing but good times to come for all of us.
And this is when the ship is at dock. All right, so as you guys sort of settle in and sort of learn your surroundings, night eventually falls. The activity somewhat slows down. There's still a lot of people, double checking, triple checking that everything's in place, that all the lines are secure, all the cargo is secure. Some people are also going to bed, climbing into their own hammocks, going to sleep, but it seems like, as you would expect, at any hour, there's at least some people awake, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong with the ship. So it's never fully silent, but it does get quieter. Although, because you are at dock, you can hear the revelry coming from shore. There's taverns that line the dockside there, so it can be quite loud and it carries over the water, but eventually you all manage to drift off to sleep, and then are all rudely awakened in the morning by a loud shout. "Captain's aboard! Everybody up!" Wrath is making his rounds, kicking a few people in the lower hammocks. Not you guys, but some of the crew that he knows won't wake up. And he doesn't even wait. He just goes on up, back up the stairs. The crew starts to sort of, but they don't dilly-dally. They immediately get up and begin making their way up to the main deck. What are you guys doing?
Braddock kind of just like as soon as the call to awake. He wasn't really sleeping very well to begin with, and so he's just kind of like still not fully awake, but he's just throwing himself, trying to get off, trying to get going. Gotta go, but you can see like his body's about 5 steps ahead of his brain. You know, he's just not cognizant.
Yep.
North has woken up, but feels like she can't. She's been like sitting up, propped against her pack with the bucket between her legs, and like she kind of like like sitting in an airplane, like kind of maneuvered something to be able to like sort of fall asleep when she could. Feeling very much like she's not gonna be able to move, so she doesn't.
All right. Bravo Corks, Grillian kind of nips you on the tips of your fingers.
I would have been awake at this point.
Okay.
I only need to sleep for 4 hours.
Yes, but you were drunk.
So I probably slept for 6 hours.
Yeah.
But I would have been reading in my bunk.
Okay.
And then as soon as the person comes and says captain's on board, I would have sort of begrudgingly closed my book and heaved myself off of the hammock and stretched out. Ooh, yes. Well, what shall we perchance do today?
Not any more drinking, please.
No hangover? What the hell?
Bravo has a very active liver.
Carrion, kind of like he was already awake. He didn't sleep very well. Not that he has issues sleeping on the boat, but he's uncomfortable being in a cramped space. There's a bunch of people there. This is not the forest. Like, he's fine with being on boats by himself. That's great. That's fine. So he kind of bags under his eyes. He did get some sleep, but he kind of gets up and finds his staff where he left it. And not too concerned about his belongings, but he leaves his pack in the hammock. And then he looks over to North. So, how is it?
She shoots him a glare. I want none of your shit, Carrion glare.
How's the bucket? Does it need to be emptied?
She contemplates for a second about throwing it at him and then realizes this is not her space. And she's just gonna, no, it's fine.
All right, just make sure, keep drinking liquids. If you need more, I can procure some.
She's gonna nod. She's really like keeping her energy use to a complete minimum.
Serax just sort of standing nearby, like, are we gonna go? Like, everybody's already left.
I just imagine this whole evening, all the shenanigans. Serac is just like, holy shit, this all just happened. Oh my god.
At this point, he's kind of used to it.
Just distancing himself from us in every possible way.
So you all make your way up?
Yep.
The deck?
Not North. North isn't going.
It's not going. All right. So the four of you go up, sans North, and you find the crew waiting on the main deck, and the captain is sort of standing up by the helm at the top of the little stairway there. And you see Zhao Han there, and she seems, considering how much she was drinking the night before, she seems fine. Seems very awake and aware and, you know, totally okay. She's standing there, she sees everybody come up. Okay, so my crew has everything prepared. Our newcomers have paid their way. They will continue to assist as needed. Although I see that one is already missing. No matter.
Yes. Well,
here are the rules.
Well, that's rather rude, but yes.
This is my ship. Aboard the Foam Splitter, my word is law. If you do not immediately obey any command given by me or First Mate Wrath, well, there are consequences. You may not like those consequences, but frankly, I don't care. Aboard this ship, you are all my responsibility. I have been tasked to get you to Waterdeep, and in order to do that, I need your complete obedience.
Bravo Quarks raises his hand.
Is that understood?
Bravo Quarks nods, still holding his hand aloft.
And she looks at the other three.
Carrion just nods.
Serac as well. Braddock?
Braddock's like just been nodding, like just as she's been talking. It's like every other word. Braddock's just yeah. Like he's not saying anything, but he's just nodding right along with her.
Then she turns back to Bravo Quarks. Questions?
Yes. You mentioned that the first mate we have to listen to as well. Now, if your word, being law, contradicts that of the first mate, who then should we listen to?
The first mate is the extension of my law, the extension of my voice. He will not contradict.
Yes. Well, I'm sure that he never actually would, but on perhaps the off chance that he might, what should we do?
If he is present and I am not, and he gives you a command, you listen to him. If we are both present, you listen to me.
What if neither of you are present, but you have both sent messengers, and they give contradicting reports?
If neither of us is present, the ship is in dire trouble.
Yes. Well, this is exactly like if the ship is in trouble and we get contradicting messages, can't you see where the problem lies?
The only problem I see currently is bearded and irritating.
Well, I mean, he grows on you, and he looks at Carrion.
We will be setting sail shortly. In the meantime, stay out of the way. Once we are free of the port, I will be designating jobs for each of you to learn. And then you will be assisting the people as we see fit for the duration of this voyage. And if necessary, the skills that you have promised you are so great at may come to be necessary should we encounter any trouble. So, in the meantime, perhaps it would be best for you to go back below decks while the crew sets us sail. And she turns to Wrath and he starts immediately bellowing orders and people start moving about and you're just sort of stuck in a flow of people.
I immediately turn to Carrion and I say, "Look, I'm sure she's all right once you get to know. And it's true, you do grow on people. I mean, you are very likable. Just give her a chance to get to know you, and I'm sure she'll change her mind."
Bravo, what am I to you? Am I a fungus?
No, you are. What a human?
Yes. Well, never mind. Let's go and make sure North is okay, and contemplate ourselves, our existence, why we are here.
So as you approach the stairs to go back below decks, you find a halfling woman sort of waiting there, and she sort of hails you as you go. "Oh, hello. You're the travelers that we've picked up, I imagine. I hear that one of you isn't feeling so well, perhaps?"
Oh, well, no, I'm quite all right. I had a mug of whiskey last night, but I'm feeling quite chipper this morning. And I had an extra 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, someone is still feeling unwell.
Well, Carrion's feelings did get a little bit hurt by the ship conductor, but I'm sure if you give him time, he'll be fine.
Yes, aside from my terribly injured feelings, wounded really, we do have a member of our party who is not much for seafaring, it would seem.
Ah, well.
Well,
It's
you see,
not-
dwarves are mostly underground folk, where they don't do so well on water.
Bravo, I
But
was speaking
I'm
of
sure-
North. Specifically of North.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Elf's
It's-
not wrong.
It's not unusual. I'm Pearl, by the way. I'm the surgeon of the ship. I've got a bit of a remedy. I'll go whip up a dose for your friend. In the meantime, just don't refer to the captain as anything but captain within her earshot, and you'll be just fine.
I Oh, well, of course. I mean, I did call her the captain of the. It's
No, you said conductor. That's very different.
Yes, Bravo. Actually, I would implore you that you heed her words in this case. If you can, please remember this. We are guests here. We did pay, but should we upset anyone in the open, frigid waters of the north, the cardinal direction of north, because I know what you are thinking, it will not be a good time.
Yes, Carrion. Bravo Corks will, and he's looking at Braddock the entire time. I will not upset anyone on the ship. It's a good thing you pointed this out
Yes,
to me, because I am the one that clearly needs this talking to.
Pearl has already walked away.
yes, that's here, neither here nor there. I'm specifically referring to the captain of this ship.
Yes, it's fine. Yes.
I feel so reassured. Thank you. Bravo.
So as the crew begins to get the ship underway, you guys make your way back down towards north, and shortly after that, Pearl returns and spots North up in the hammock, and she's got sort of a little cup, and she brings it back and looks up and, oh, you've got a spot of the seasickness, my dear. Nothing to be ashamed of, don't worry. You'll get your sea legs eventually.
God, this has a name. I just thought the wine hit me really hard. Seasick, you said?
Seasick, oh yes, it's very common, yes. It's a form of motion sickness. Not all are afflicted by it, and it's not contagious, but it will hopefully pass. I've brewed you a concoction of my own making, and she's sort of up on tiptoes, reaching
Carrion
up
would help
towards
her lift it.
North gonna try, but like.
It smells foul. But there's a decent mug of it, but she says, drink it all, drink it quick. It should settle you, maybe not right away, but in a few hours I'll make you another dose. In a day or so, depending on your constitution, you'll be feeling much better.
Can she tell what's in through her herbalism?
Make a, what is herbalism? Wisdom check? Make a wisdom check. Or medicine. Do a medicine. You can pick out a couple of the ingredients. Some of them, like, just based on smell, because it's just liquid. You can't quite make out, but some pretty common sort of like stomach calming, like chamomile kind of tea type herbs. But there's a couple of smells you pick out that you're not familiar with. But they don't seem to mix well together in terms of scent. It smells very medicine-y. It's strong smelling, but it's not a beverage one drinks for pleasure.
So she's gonna hold back vomiting again after that first whiff.
Yep.
Leaf is nowhere to be found because he could smell it a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of gonna, well, I know about half of what's in here. Okay. She's gonna pinch her nose.
Down the hatch.
Just, as fast as she can.
That's the girl. All right. Well, if it gets worse, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back with the next batch in a few hours or so. Otherwise, the rest of you will be needed in about half an hour or so when we're well underway, and you'll get to learn something new.
She looks like, and is kind of being a little dramatic, like a 12-year-old taking a spoonful of like cherry met. And she kind of goes, she's like she's trying to not be disrespectful, but it was nasty. And
It's
I'm
pretty
sure
potent.
it seemed overly dramatic, but she's not concerned about her image right now.
Yeah. All right. So Pearl leaves again, and you guys sort of experience the lurching and swaying of the ship as it heads out of the harbor and into the more wind-blown sea. The waves get bigger, gets a little choppier. You can feel now as you're getting out of the slightly wind-protected harbor, there is a bit of a chill that sort of creeps in both from the water and the wind, but it's not so bad. You all have your winter gear still from Bryn Shander, so that definitely helps. And at this point, we'll take our break because this is a good stopping point. And when we get back, we can move on with this and your new ship travels.
We're gonna play Sea of Thieves and D&D.
I fire the cannon.
Yeah, I'm sorry there's no music. The jukebox thing on Roll20 doesn't seem to be working for me today, so otherwise there'd be like whoosh sounds and like, whatever, sea sounds.
Just give us some cue cards and we can just take turns. Whoosh. Splash, splash.
Ocean. Ocean.
For now,
Ocean.
I would like to encourage everyone watching to go and check out our friend Anne over at Curious Crafts. She streams at twitch.tv/Curious Crafts. She's super amazing, super talented, very creative. She makes like scenery and battle maps, and it could be for dioramas, it could be for D&D games, it could be just for fun, like modeling. You can craft along with her when she streams. She recently did like a Christmas ornament of her Sir Mimsy dragon. That was really, really cute. Very, very awesome. Very encouraging. She's just all around amazing. Go check her out if you haven't, followed her already.
Or
You
else.
should go follow her. No, there's no threats. But definitely an encouragement. She's wonderful. In the meantime, we will be back in about 15 minutes, so about 10 after, quarter after, somewhere in that range, we'll be back. So go some refreshments, check out Anne, and we'll be back shortly.
Bye.
See you soon.
I can't keep it in my head.
Hello again. Fancy seeing you here.
I live here.
Yep, that's true. So we're back. Our party is on a ship. Our cleric is somewhat out of commission.
She's painting things in vomit color.
But the rest of you are brought back up onto the main deck after the ship is underway. It does take almost all of you a little while to get your sea legs. It's a little wobbly every now and then, but otherwise relatively easy to navigate the ship. So you make your way back up on deck, and the crew is going about their tasks, and Wrath sort of is standing there waiting for you. He's a pretty beefy dude, lots of muscle, bald head, lots of scars. He's the half-orc first mate that you had met previously, and he's standing there waiting for you. And all right, so I don't know what you guys are good at, but there's a number of jobs that you can either assist or learn or what have you. So you can either help Noga, she's the lookout, and he points up. If you look all the way up the mast, she's sitting in the crow's nest. Or you can help Quarrel. He's the bosun. He does repairs and maintenance and, general carpentry, mending, sewing, whatever is required to keep this ship afloat. Or there's Sorn. He points up to the helm, and sort of standing at the wheel is a dark elf. He's currently navigating the ship on its course. He gets us to where we need to go, make sure we don't hit anything. There's Pearl. I think you've met her. She's ship surgeon. Or there's Gleph. He's down in the galley. He's cook.
I'll take that, Lynn. Where's down? Just down?
Down a level, yeah.
All right. Braddock's off.
Anyone else? Any applicable skills? Anything you'd like to learn?
I'm very good at learning.
Okay, but what do you want to learn?
Magic, preferably.
We don't have a professional spell slinger here, sorry.
Well, do you know that you have a drow on the ship?
No. Where's the drow? I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's up there, and he points towards the dark elf.
Just before Braddock disappears below deck, you can hear him off the distance. Sarcasm! Sarcasm! He's gone.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's just Sorn.
Well, oh, okay then. I guess I'll go in the crow's nest.
You gonna be able to get up there, old man?
Uh-oh.
Bravo, how about I take the crow's nest and you can help do something else?
Well, you see, I'm very good at looking. I might be old, but my eyes have never failed me.
Yes, but you need to be able to scale that netting. Quickly.
I can
in a storm.
do that just
blindfolded.
Fine.
Okay, maybe not blindfolded.
Thank you.
You learn magic. Do you know how to fly?
Well, it's a long story.
I don't need a story. I need an answer.
Well, I can fall with style.
I mean, everyone can fall. That's sort of what we're hoping to avoid.
Yes, I will take the lookout. And Carrion did not have his staff. Did he bring his staff this morning? I don't think he did. Did he?
He brought it up initially, but you went back down.
Back down? I was going to assume that he left it there to keep things rolling. Yes, I can climb that quite easily. And Carrion just clampers up the netting to the crow's nest.
Listen.
Having no problems for a portly looking gentleman, like more limber than you'd expect.
Yep, and relatively strong. So Wrath walks up next to Bravo Corix, and his hand is almost as big as your head. He pats your back surprisingly gently. I was like, I bet you could probably teach Coral a thing or two, and he could probably even teach you a thing or two. Why don't you go spend some time with him?
This is elder abuse.
Abuse? No. I'm trying to keep you safe.
Look, I can climb. I know how to climb. I can do it.
Excellent, because I'm sure there will be plenty of climbing with Quarrel. He's got to make sure the masts are in good repair, all the ropes, all the rigging, even down the side of the ship, all the wood. There's going to be lots of up and down, lots of stairs, lots of work. I'm sure you're more than capable.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're giving me much of a choice, so I guess so.
You and Coral will have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls the half-elf over, that you may or may not remember that you spoke with the night before. And he comes up and, oh, hi.
Yes, hello. My name is Bravo Corks.
Yep. It is. He looks at Wrath, and Wrath just walks away. He's like, all right, so you're helping me.
Yes, I was told that you could teach me a few things, and I could perhaps teach you a few things as well.
Yay. Okay, well, do you know any carpentry?
Well, I'm familiar with the carpentry arts. I know how it works in removing and finishing wood to fit together to construct things, be it chairs or buildings.
What about sewing?
Lights or any matter of thing, really. It's amazing what you can do when you.
Sewing?
Oh yes. I am well familiar with the mechanics of using needle and thread.
Have you
pierce,
done
fabrics and fasten them together through?
Have
weaving.
you done any of these things?
I've read many books.
Read about it, yeah.
Very, very well versed in the theories and ideas and technologies.
So Coral will just sort of like, as you continue talking, wraps his arm around your shoulders and just leads you off towards the front of the ship, shooting daggers at Wrath. Meanwhile, Braddock.
Did you know that the first time someone ever sewed something?
Meanwhile, Braddock pretty easily finds Gleph in the kitchen. It's a very small kitchen.
I want to make a Glyph palette joke, but I won't.
He is a human man, bald, sort of middle frame. Like, he's not huge, he's not petite, just sort of average. Lots of like shiny burn scars across his arms. He's got a big old apron on. He's chopping vegetables, looks like potatoes for the most part. Onions, things like that. He looks up as you come in and Can I help you?
Yes, you must be Glyph, yeah?
Yep, that's me.
I was well, I was given the option to report several places, and I chose to come down here and help you. So, if you'd be ever so kind as to put me to work.
All right. Well, there's lots of that. So, do you have much cooking experience?
Well, I've lived on my own for about a decade now, so
Good enough.
yes, I've cooked for myself.
We're not experiencing any fine dining on this ship, so that'll be fine. If you know your way around a knife, around a fire, that's pretty much all you need to know.
So should I just start here with the potatoes?
Yep. He hands you a knife, hands you an apron if you're interested at all. And just
Braddock just takes knife in hand and looks down at the potatoes like he's trying to do a Sudoku puzzle about the best way to cut the potatoes.
Yes, Travis.
How tall is the counter and how tall is Braddock?
He can
It's
see
just a
over
hand,
it. No, it's
just
not.
a hand chop.
It's a ship, so space is at a premium. So everything is kind of cramped and low, but like it's not like built for dwarves, but he can still work there, no problem.
He's standing on a cask.
It's like a lot of wine just swinging hip of the table.
There's a big
Got
old
a
bag
step
of
stool.
there's a big old bag of potatoes sitting on the floor. There's a big pot already prepared hanging over the not yet started fire. And he just sort of looks at you, and they don't need to be pretty. Just cut them.
All right then. And he just kind of like not like he doesn't even grab the potato right away. He just starts cutting, and then the potato moves a little. Then he brings his other hand into the equation, and then he's kind of off and away.
Excellent. And so he will guide you through the rest of that as you continue. Up in the crow's nest, Carrion makes his way up, and Noga just sort of greeted you with a nod.
Carrion didn't look displeased with that. He just nods back and had a question in there. Carrion's not stumbling. I'm stumbling. If anything pops up that needs being said about looking out, I'm sure that you'll tell me in due time. But no rush. And he's actually quite content just to sit up there and say nothing.
Yeah, she's not a conversationalist, but she does give you a bit of a rundown. Just keep an eye out for not only land, but, other ships, because these are heavily pirated seas. So, pretty easy going up there.
While he's up there, Carrion is, he's doing due diligence, looking around. But he reaches into one of his pockets and pops open a journal, or pulls out a journal, and he opens it up, and he's not writing in it, but he is kind of reading. It is his journal, and he's reading through it slowly and just flipping the pages, recounting their adventures so far.
All right. In the lower deck, as North is dealing with her affliction, eventually Pearl returns. Only this time Carrion's not there, so she's just sort of, so, how you feeling?
Better than I was.
Yeah, good. Improvement's good. Gonna have to have another dose now. I know it tastes bad, but it'll help in the long run anyways.
It has helped remarkably. I can pick out most of what's in here, but what else have you thrown? I'm an herbalist myself, so I was trying to figure it out.
Oh, well, things I've picked up here and there. There's
Dirt mostly.
she gives you a bit of a rundown on the ingredients and, but it's more how you prepare it, and she starts telling you about like the preparation, you have to like get the oils out of these and like you got to stew these just right, and it's all about the combination and the preparation, and so she tells you about all that and then hands it up and drink it down.
And she'll do the same thing she did before. And she coughed a little less this time, but still did the yucky medicine mouth and tried to be graceful as she like
Yeah.
wiped her mouth away and then handed the cup back.
As you hand it back, she takes it and it might get worse before it gets better, depending on how the weather holds. If there's any sort of storms or anything, it might get worse, but hopefully you'll get your legs before then and it'll be fine. Just keep your chin up and the bucket close and you'll be totally fine.
How likely is it to have a storm like tonight?
Well, I mean, nobody can predict the weather, but it's winter, things get stormy, it gets rough, even just the wind, it can get a little choppy, depending on how bad your seasickness is, you'll be fine.
And then she's gonna ask, well, should I stay in this hammock or should I actually be on the floor?
Well, I don't suggest the floor. It's very wet. You will get very cold and probably sick. What I find helps, actually, if you can manage it, is going up on the main deck. Though you feel the sway, the fresh air actually tends to help, at least for a little while. Just the cold, fresh, salt air keeps you calmer, relaxes you a bit. At least that's what I find, but I've been on the sea for most of my life, so that's just me.
Fascinating. What did you say your name was? Pearl?
Pearl, yes.
How did you find these guys?
Oh, I've been with Captain Zhao for almost 10 years now, I guess. Just hopped from ship to ship, wherever I'm needed, wherever the pay is good.
So she pays you well. What is the captain like? She seems so interesting.
Oh, yes. Well, she can come across as harsh, but I think all captains have to be firm and harsh in their own way just to keep everybody in line, and things can get dangerous on the seas, both from just the natural dangers of the ocean and from creatures and other people on it, but also just when you're at sea for a long time, things can get dicey with the crew. They get a little stir crazy, things can get tense. So captains really have to keep everything in line. They have to be on top of it, but I think that she's a good person, but depending on the situation, you might not see it much. She has to be what she has to be for the job. And it's a lifestyle, really, for most of us. Once you're on the sea, you're on the sea. It gets in your blood.
Oh, sea in your blood. She's like contemplating that for a second.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that literally. No, that wouldn't be so good.
Got it. Well, thank you.
Of course. When you're feeling better, when you're feeling better, maybe you can help me out. You seem to know your way around, the medicinal herbs and things, so maybe you could teach me a thing or two.
Oh, well, I grew up in the northern forest, part of the forest elves, up way. Well, I guess it's not north because we're in the north, and I guess northern is anyway.
Relative, sure.
Yes, I'm a nature domain cleric.
Oh, so who do you worship then?
Sylvanas.
Ah, I've heard of him. Not a lot of followers, especially on the coast, but what I have heard, it's understandable that you're into the healing arts and things of that nature.
Yes, well, he very much believes in balance and not taking more than you need. So it's a very different perspective on how to live. I can see how maybe this kind of harsh lifestyle makes it hard to just you always want more.
Sailors and pirates in general, yeah, not so much in the ways of balance and only taking what you need. But I can see the allure, sure.
Well, I'll work on getting better and maybe I'll make it up on time.
Yes, if you can. Otherwise, just try to sleep it off as best you can. Your body will get used to the motion, and you should be right as rain in a few days. Or sooner.
Let's hope for no storm. And she's gonna kind of like settle back, and then Leaf will kind of like pop out from the fur coat and kind of go around her neck a little and keep her warm.
All right. So as the ship continues its voyage south towards Waterdeep, you each spend quite a bit of time with your mentors, I guess, learning the trade, helping where you can to earn your passage on top of what you paid. Relatively uneventful for the first few days. And then you notice that Wrath seems a little frustrated, a little irritated, on edge after the first few days at sea, and he's talking with Captain Zhao privately. A few times you spot them. And then partway through the 5th day at sea, there's a bit of a ruckus as you're all going about your tasks, and the crew seems all riled up, and Wrath comes like stomping up the stairs, calls out, "Captain, I've found the problem." And the crew members who aren't really doing much kind of sort of congregate around, sort of crowding the middle of the ship. Are you guys joining them?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yes.
Can I hear and see pretty easily from the crow's nest?
Kinda, yeah. Like, you wouldn't be able to participate in conversation, but you can kind of hear what's going on.
So this is how many, like, days or?
Yeah, it's a few
day?
days.
Okay.
So yeah, if North's feeling better, she's moving around, she would definitely have heard the ruckus anyways.
Yeah, I think North probably pulled her hair out of the double buns and put it onto one, or braids, whatever. Put it into one braid, and she kind of pulls her coat closer. She's been kind of like practicing walking around a little bit. And with the ruckus, she's gonna definitely kind of hobble her way up.
All right. So there's a crowd of crew members around, and Captain Zhao comes out of her quarters on the main deck, where Wrath is standing, and he's got something in his arm, or like he's holding it in his hand, and it's just sort of like wriggling around. And the captain stands in front of him looking, and as you guys sort of push your way through, you see he's holding what looks to be a child, and she's just sort of struggling. It's just like a blur of motion. And he drops the child onto the deck, and he looks at Captain Zhao and says, "This is where the missing rations have been going." And Braddock, you know from Gleph that food has been going missing. And so as you guys push up, you see she stops thrashing around, a female child, white, like snow white hair, skin that seems to be purple. There's two little horns kind of poking out of the hair, wearing what looks like like just a sack. Like it's rags just kind of patched together, nothing fancy at all. A tail that ends in sort of a point, and she just sort of is on all fours on the deck, just sort of like glaring up at everybody. Her eyes are like this blue that seems to match the sea that you're sailing on. It's just dark and furious, and she's just, and Wrath standing over her, like, I don't know how she got aboard, but obviously somebody's drifting off when they're on security duty. And some of the crew just kind of shift uncomfortably, and Captain Zhao's just standing there over her, arms crossed, and so, child, where have you come from? And the girl just doesn't answer. It's just like glaring up, snarling. Captain looks down at her. Do you speak? Do you have a name? Do you know where you are? And the child just pushes herself into a standing position and looks up at Wrath, and just, her teeth are sharp and pointed. She looks like a small tiefling child, and she's just like filthy, just covered in grime and dirt, and her hair is matted and messy, and her tail is just sort of flicking back and forth. She's very clearly agitated. So, my crew allowed a child to stow away, who has then been stealing our food. Sorn, where's the nearest port? Sorn up at the helm. Yeah. Port Last is a few days out. Considers the child, and I suppose that's big enough. We could drop her off there. All right. Well, don't really have anywhere for her. Wrath, just put her down in the brig. Just find somewhere to put her. And she turns to walk back into her cabin, and Wrath grabs her by the scruff of her neck, and she just... and he starts to walk back down. All right, get back to work. And he begins to take the child down in under the deck. What do you
North was just kind of on the edge of things. She kind of caught glimpses of what was going on, and her first instinct was, go help, because that's what she does. But her second instinct was Captain Scary, and I don't feel good, and maybe I shouldn't. So she's just been standing there watching very intently. But if there was any real intent to hurt the child, she would have stepped in right away.
Mm-hmm.
But her eyes are just kind of following where they're going. For once, she's being rational.
Would Bravo Gorks know what species this thing is?
Yep, she's a tiefling. She's just because you spent a lot of time with Grin in Nightstone. He was a tiefling, him and his mom. Okay. She's just a different color than they were. So
Bravo Gorks pulls out his Pokedex and points it at the child.
Yeah, no, she's a tiefling. It's just her horns are very small because she's very young.
Yeah.
But she's got all the characteristics of tiefling.
Okay.
Carrion and Noga probably haven't spoken many words in the past few days, but Carrion finally pipes up.
Do you get many stowaways on this boat? Seems like a tiefling child was just found.
Yeah, almost never. You hear about it now and then on like merchant ships and things like that, where there's a lot of cargo to hide in or between or whatever, but usually our security is better than this. I guess we got a little slack given the excitement in the harbor.
I'm surprised. The captain, I wonder if there are plans to stop in port. Seems like we're going to be making a stop regardless to drop off the kid.
Well, the ship only carries so much food. Keep weight down for storage purposes. There's only so much to go around, so an extra mouth to feed, even as small as she is, can put everyone else at risk, so it just doesn't make sense to keep her.
Yes, but she also could have just tossed her overboard. Don't misunderstand. I'm glad she did not, but I suppose I was surprised.
The captain is harsh, perhaps, but not cruel. She does what's necessary, but...
Yes, and I very much respect that. Very similar to nature, actually. Existing in nature is oddly similar to being a sailor, apparently.
Well, she's, I guess, a lot like the sea, if you want to, get figurative. Doesn't really care who or what it affects, just the nature of the sea. It's what she does. It's how you survive out here.
And what about you, Noga?
What about me?
How'd you wind up here, a dragonborn?
I'm assuming there are not many on the ship.
No, she's the only one.
Yes, don't see too many of your kind.
Nope. We're not really a seafaring people. But Captain treats me good.
All right then, fair enough. I won't pry any further.
So Wrath takes the girl down to actually the level that you guys sleep on, where the cargo is being held. It's where he found her as well. She had stowed away with the cargo, hidden herself in there. She's pretty small, so finding nooks and crannies are pretty easy for her. But in with where all the cargo has been secured, there is sort of caged walls. They're not really cages, but it's for keeping cargo from rolling around and things like that. But he just sort of tosses her in one of the empty ones and closes the door, locks it up, walks away.
Bravo would have followed.
Okay.
Sort of like seeing where they're going, down to the area that we sleep on. He would have sort of like fussed around his bunk for a little while till Wrath left.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he did leave, he would have walked over to the tiefling child. Yes. Hello, I am Bravo Quarks. What is your name?
She's huddled in the corner, just very defensive, just sort of staring up at you. She seems almost feral.
I Grillian would be on my shoulder at this point in time. And I asked Grillian to communicate telepathically with the child to just like impress images of being calm and safe.
All right. Grillian does her best, and the child just kind of she doesn't really seem to understand what she's thinking, seeing, hearing. She's very confused.
What languages do tieflings like? What's their native language?
Make an intelligence check.
Okay. I guess that's just that one. 23.
Most of them know common, but they typically share the language of the abyss, which is infernal.
Dang it, I don't know that one.
No.
I guess I would just try all the different languages that I know.
And she just increasingly it gets more and more sort of defensive and confused.
Bravo Quarks points at himself and then points at the child and then just like smiles really wide.
She is still confused. Wary.
Oh, yes. Well, hold on. And Bravo would go over to his pack and pull out one of his rations that he has and head back over towards her and like offer it to her.
Holding it like between the bars.
Yeah.
She for a moment like just kind of holds steady and then like inches forward and then like grabs it and pulls back.
Bravo kind of like jumps at the violence of her actions and he goes, "See, look, it's all right. Yes."
She just like devours the food.
And he goes, "Well, yes, I suppose you've had enough excitement for today, so I will bid you adieu, and we will pick this up again on the morrow." And he sort of like bows a little bit and then goes back upstairs.
She just watches you the whole time until you're out of sight. In the meantime, Pearl ends up going down to check on the child. The crew goes back to their tasks. Wrath goes back to ordering people around, making sure things are operating as they should. Captain returns to her quarters. What are you guys doing?
I'd like to think Braddock's kind of settled in to his cooking, so much so that he's like taken a motherly pride in it, like smacking hands with the wooden spoon and like, "Don't eat that yet, you'll get a worm. Stop, wait, it's not ready yet." Like, just way more into it than he has any real right to be into it.
Right.
Like, he's ingratiated himself in his own mind into a part of the crew. And everyone else is like waiting for the temporary status of them being passengers on the ship to go over. But Braddock's just like, "Nope, I'm cooking the food now. Everybody line up, get your grub."
Yep, which is almost exactly the attitude of Gleph. So you guys are just sort of peas in a pod at that point. You get into a rhythm. It really helps the workload.
We do like a Stomp-esque cooking montage, banging on the pots and pans and making music.
Just spinning around each other in the tight space.
Yeah.
like Tarzan in the jungle, the animated one.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else?
North kind of went down casually saw Bravo, watched him go and talk to her, the child, and then also come back. She then kind of like looks over her shoulder towards the cage, watching Pearl go there, probably to see if she can even get close enough to probably do an examination or whatever. And she's gonna look over to Bravo and ask, so did she speak?
No, not a word.
But she's a tiefling, right?
Yes, quite. Very much. A tiefling, yes.
I wonder why she found the ship.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't exactly forthcoming with details.
That must have been horrible, talking to something that wouldn't talk back. And she's gonna kind of like adjust her fur coat that she's wearing a little.
Yes, well, it is difficult to hold up both ends of the conversation, but perhaps next time.
If there's a... Oh, sorry. We're going to say something?
Okay,
No. If there's a spare... Like, did they get a break time or anything? Like, Carrion could go down from the crow's nest? Or...
Yeah. Well, at this point, like, you've learned enough that you guys can just sort of take turns in the crow's nest. She doesn't really have to be there with you.
You live there now.
This is my home.
You shape change into a crow.
Not yet. Close. Close. More like a giant eagle crow. So Carrion is going to climb down from the crow's nest, and he's just kind of saying good morning or whatever time of day it was, checking in, making sure all's good before going down below deck. Is Pearl still there trying to look after the kid?
Yeah, Pearl is... Yeah, trying to examine the child, but also trying not to, like, scare her or frighten her more than she already must be. So she's not getting very far, but she's trying to sort of ease into it. So she's just closing the thing again, locking it back up as you get down there.
Is it just the kid and Pearl and Carrion, or is there other people there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's people that are sleeping, but yeah, otherwise, you guys.
Okay. Carrion would go over to the cage where Pearl is and the kid, and yes, any luck looking after the child?
Not much. She seems very cautious, which is understandable. Unfortunately, Luskin isn't the best place for children. So her
For
demeanor
most
is
people.
not... Well, that's true. It's a dangerous place, so her behavior is understandable.
Okay. Carrion just, yes, I suppose so. And he crouches down, so he's on eye level with the kid, and just speaking in common to her. Yes, little one, how are you there? Don't suppose you understand common at all?
She stares at you and after a moment just nods.
Ah, good. Why don't you let the doctor here examine you? The surgeon.
She looks at Pearl and just kind of like... shakes her head.
Well, would you care to tell us why you came aboard the ship? Okay.
Shakes her head again.
He looks away from her and at Pearl and kind of looks around to make sure no one else is there. And
Yes, Pearl. I'd appreciate you not mentioning this as to why I know this, but if you could just keep this to yourself. And he leans in very close to the cage and whispers to the child in Infernal. And now, come on, you can certainly tell me. I can vouch for your safety.
He says, coming off as Papa Satan.
It's fine, it's fine.
I had to come here.
Why? Why this ship?
I had to leave Luskin.
Okay. Well, I suppose we can talk more about that later, but why don't you let the surgeon here examine you and make sure you're healthy, and we can talk some more. I'll be right here. I won't go anywhere.
Callie just sighed, but no one else heard it except me.
My microphone doesn't pick it up. She doesn't seem happy about it, but she begrudgingly agrees.
All right. Carrion turns to Pearl. Yes, Pearl. I think that I've got her to agree. If you want to try again, maybe?
Oh, excellent. And she grabs a bucket that was nearby that seems to be full of warm, soapy water in a rag. No, not a vomit bucket. A wash bucket. A wash bucket.
Gonna clean the child with vomit.
And she goes back into the cage, opens the door. She closes it but doesn't lock it. And just begins sort of like wiping the dirt off of her face and arms and things. The girl is just sort of like, but allows her to clean her off and is generally agreeable to it, even if she doesn't seem to be enjoying it much. Yeah, so she gets cleaned up. She still doesn't seem very talkative, though.
So, little one, what's your name? Again, speaking in Infernal, but quietly, not booming voice or anything, just whispering. Or softly. Not creepy whispering, but like soft whispering.
Whispering softly into her ear.
She sort of looks at Pearl again, and she's like wiping off the dirt, and she just, I am Kirga. Where's my cursor? Kirga.
Kirga, okay. Kirga. I am known as Carrion. And this is Pearl. So before he leaves her, he would go to his bunk, because I'm assuming it's close by.
Yes.
And get his blanket, and then bring his blanket to her, because he still has his winter gear. I can loan you this while you, during your stay, I suppose.
She takes it, doesn't, like, wrap it around herself or anything, but she takes it.
Perhaps we can talk some more, maybe later or another day.
I can't go anywhere.
Yes, I suppose you are right.
Can she stop touching me now?
Pearl. Yes, Pearl
Yes.
is.
Yes.
She wants you to stop touching her. Are you almost done with your examination?
Oh, yes, yes. Yep. She physically seems healthy, if a little underfed. She's kind of stringy, but she's a child.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Growing up in Lushkin, I say.
Especially, she gathers her bucket and washcloths and leaves the cage again, locks it up behind her, and let me know if you need anything, and heads off.
Yes, well, Kirga, I promise I will come by to talk as much as I can, but I do have duties myself to do. He doesn't. Sorry. I can help it.
So eloquent.
I do have duties to attend to myself as well as a lookout. I can promise you, though, if anyone should come to talk to you, Bravo Quarks or North especially, they are good people. And probably Braddock too, I suppose.
No,
Your mic didn't pick you
I
up at all.
don't know who you're talking about.
That's okay. Maybe you will meet them later.
Okay.
And he would just kind of nod and get up and head back on deck of the ship.
All right.
Get back to his job.
Well, that's where we will leave it for tonight. Interesting developments.
Yeah, this one's a head scratcher.
Yeah. You have a bit of a journey ahead of you. The crew would have informed you it would take 20 or so days, considering, like, depending on weather and things like that, to get from Luskin to Waterdeep. If
And
you were to sail
we're-
directly.
We're a week in, I think, if my
No,
math.
4 days.
4 days. 4 days. Sorry.
4 days in. And so you have a bit ahead of you, but seems like you'll be making a detour to Port Last. Not really a detour, it's on the way, but anywho. So in terms of scheduling, unfortunately my work schedule shifts back to afternoon shifts, so for the next 2 weeks I won't be able to play, so we won't be doing Storm King's Thunder. But we will be doing D&D of some sort on the Fridays, the next 2 Fridays, just without me. I think Joe is going to be leading some more 1 turn 2 shots, maybe?
What?
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 We did actually
Yeah.
discuss it in advance this time.
Yeah,
Normally
no,
we
no.
don't. But so we will have that to look forward to. There is also some Dodo Squad coming up on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Sunday? Both Sundays?
Ooh, I can't wait.
I
Just-
don't remember.
Well, just at least one Sunday. It's scheduled. We'll let you know. Also, as of starting Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, there will be journal entries posted on our Tumblr from the perspective of the characters. So Braddock and Bravo Quarks and Carrion and North, they are all sort of writing journals as this adventure goes, and we will be posting these entries not all at once. I think Braddock's is slated to go up first. So Tuesday it will be posted. So if you want any sort of behind the scenes insights into what the characters are thinking and feeling about all of this that's going down and people that they're traveling with, you can check that out. Read up on that to get a little bit of insider information that even the other players don't know because they're not allowed to read each other's journal entries.
Nope.
Hey, out of curiosity, what's that Tumblr? Just, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go.
I'm pretty sure
Somebody.
it's on our Twitch page. I think it's linked there.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
we've IP banned your account.
So you can check that out on Tuesday. I think we'll also post just like a Twitter notification about that. Otherwise, I think that's it for announcements. Yep. Okay, I'm getting all the nods, so that's good. I didn't miss anything this time. So we're going to call it quits for tonight. We are so glad that you joined us. We hope that this year will be even better than last year. Play lots of games.
Or else.
Stay safe. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next time.
Or else.
Have a good night, everyone.
Everybody waves like this, but nobody waves like this.
Yeah, that's because it's weird.
That's because that's really dumb.
That's
and
a
bad.
high five.
I'm gonna start
High
waving like
five.
this. I'm
Yeah,
gonna start waving.
Just lead the charge, man.
Just end the stream, please.
Bye, everybody.
Please end our misery.
Hashtag new wave.